Hey,
Hi,
Rachel.
Matt. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
And nice meeting you. So, obviously, this movie made me cry because I was a Blue's Clues kid.
Yes.
And so the minute Steve looked at me in my face and said, "You've grown up," I just cried on my couch. But it's so fun because it is a movie that I, as someone who obviously don't still watch Blue's Clues,
Yeah.
watched and was like, I remember so many things about growing up, but it's new and fresh. And so for you as a director, what it was the joy about kind of marrying all of the worlds of Blue's Clues together into this adventure and still making it Josh's movie?
Yeah. It was a big challenge, but I have to say the atmosphere on set, because having these legends there, and they're so professional and they're so kind, and just realize the importance of, making a film for kids that resonates with kids. It was a challenge technically, but creatively just easy, because we had this beautiful location. We had to shoot in New York City. We had to go to all these iconic places and have all these fun cameos. And Josh, Steve, and Donovan are just like total pros and the funnest people to work with. So, when Nickelodeon approached me for the job, I mean, they had me at musical. I'm obsessed with musicals, and I love that you can break rules and make it fantastical and surreal. And so that's what sort of hooked me into the project, was to have a lot of creative freedom with the musical element of it all.
Yeah, and you mentioned New York. I live in New York, and so when he was in Central Park, at one point, I'm like, he's looking for a theater. I'm like, you're not gonna find. Like, I felt like I was playing Blue's Clues, but as an adult who was like, you're not gonna find a theater in Central Park
Yeah,
unless it's
yeah,
the Delacorte. But
yeah.
the fun part you said is the music, and it is so cool how kind of Josh's whole thing is that he is a Broadway guy, and it flows in with the songs that like I remember the Handy Dandy Notebook and Blue's Clues song, and I didn't realize I still remembered it that way.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like his version is so cool. And so, what was the song process like? Like, who all kind of came together to find the songs that fit in both with the themes of Blue's Clues, but with also Josh's musical adventure into Rainbow Puppy's show?
It was a really interesting process. With my music video background, there's been a couple of songwriters that I've always wanted to work with, and rather than go the route of, traditional songwriters in the animation space, I reached out to. We had incredible music supervisors on the show, Sammy Posner, and we basically reached out to Keith Goodwin. He was in a group called Good Old War, and Anthony Green, who's a friend of mine who was in a group called Seosin and Circus Survive, and Steph Fink, who also writes, beautiful songs. And they created these songs kind of just with guitars and vocals. And then we took the simple kind of indie folky sounding songs with guitars and vocals and pushed them towards Broadway and did all the instrumentation. So, it took a village. And we also had a big time crunch. We had to do a lot of the choreography based off of very rough samples of the music. So if you actually were on set watching us film, some of the songs, like, they would have sounded like so basic to you, So a lot of the instrumentation and the creativity and a lot of the vocals we did after the fact. Some of the songs, it wasn't even Josh's voice singing it, because we just had to use the temporary versions of it because the schedule was so fast. So it was a really it took a village. There were so many different people needed to put the creativity and the style into the music, and it was a really fun process.
I can't wait for everyone to get to see this because I do think you're going to have a lot of adults crying. I like attribute my love of mysteries to Blue's Clues.
Uh,
So I was like, I can't wait because listen, I didn't expect to cry over Steve from Blue's
yeah,
Clues, and yet I did.
yeah,
So thank you so much for talking with me today, and I loved it. It was great.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad you liked it. So.
Of course, thank you.